major damage. One twister hitting with 120-mile-an-hour winds. This mall severely damaged as the remnants of Tropical Storm Cindy caused misery from Texas to New York, bringing more than a foot of rain and flash floods. Now, new severe weather warnings this morning.
Also this morning, chaos at the Capitol. Senate Republicans releasing their secret health care plan, sparking protests, facing opposition even within their own party. What their bill to end Obamacare means for you. And overnight, President Trump taking on special counsel Robert Mueller, the man now leading the Russia investigation. What the president is now saying about Mueller.
Overnight, Johnny Depp stunning crowds with this comment.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Backlash now growing over the remarks. Was he threatening President Trump? The Secret Service now responding this morning.
And an ABC News exclusive. Dennis Rodman one-on-one with Michael. His first TV interview since returning from North Korea. And the death of American student Otto Warmbier.
When he went there, he was fine. A year later, the same day you go over, he's released in a coma.
And what he's saying about Kim Jong-un.
I think people don't see him as a friendly guy, but if you actually talk to him.
His message for President Trump and why he got so emotional. Only on GMA this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And we do say good morning, America. It's been great having David with us all this week.
Did we survive it?
We did
Almost
survive
there.
it. Happy Friday.
That's true.
And that means we've got a great crowd out there in Central Park for our summer concert series with Little Big Town. Can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, we'll move uptown in just a bit here, but in the meantime, a lot of news to get to this morning. What an interview with Dennis Rodman. Michael sat down with him, and Rodman has a lot to say about his trip to North Korea. You know, he's facing a lot of criticism for making this trip amidst the news of that American college student who returned with severe brain damage after being held in captivity there.
Yeah, and we're also following those dangerous tornadoes and floods causing major damage. ABC's Steve Osunsami is on the ground in hard-hit Fairfield, Alabama with more. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Robin. I'm standing in front of what's left of a state liquor store that took a direct hit. There's the whiskey aisle right there. The J&B and the Dewars are still standing on their shelves, but look at what happened to the poor bourbon. It was torn apart. All of this is a total loss. This town was caught by surprise by this storm. There were people inside these businesses at the time. This is what's left of an oil service station. As you can see, the walls were torn apart by the high winds. For many, this was a rough night of wild weather across the South.
It just hit here in Fairfield. It was big, guys. It was really big.
A confirmed EF2 tornado came tearing through this small town just outside Birmingham, terrorizing families and destroying their businesses. 4 people were hurt. The only thing left standing here, these 2 shelves.
It lasted about 2 or 3 minutes and it was gone.
Even from a distance, you could see the 120-mile-an-hour winds. People here had to run for cover. The violent winds cut through power lines. This morning, more than 1,000 people here are still without power. What's left of Cindy is not going away quietly across the South. The strong winds plus the high tide added to the heavy rains were more than enough to flood this highway. And just off the coast of Pensacola, this water spout was spinning up less than a mile from shore.
Oh, my Lord!
Authorities are still telling some families that they still need to leave their homes for higher ground. More than a foot of rain is soaking parts of Mississippi, leaving people in this neighborhood nearly underwater.
The water is up about 3 or 4 more feet than yesterday.
Even the fire ants are trying to beat the rain. No one here was killed, and authorities say that is a blessing. They're encouraging anyone who doesn't need to be in this area to stay away. Many of the roads are still blocked. Robin?
Good recommendation there. All right, Steve, thank you. We're going to go to Ginger now, who has more on where the remnants of Tropical Storm Cindy are heading. Ginger?
Yes, and you can see right here where the center or the circulation of what's left of Cindy, still in northeast Arkansas, about to make its way through Memphis. That's the heavy rain, but heavy rain just part of the threat today. The flash flood threat from Huntington, West Virginia and Pittsburgh back to Jackson, Mississippi. Atlanta is still included, so you should not be surprised whatsoever if you see severe weather or flash flooding today anywhere in that region, because we've got that cold front squeezing together with the remnants, kind of absorbing that. It could reach heavy rains, 1 to 2 inches even, all the way to New York City here. later tonight and early tomorrow. Don't forget, damaging wind still a threat. You could have a couple of those storm segments, really powerful winds. Robin and David.
All right, Ginger, you're tracking it. Thanks to you. And we're also following a lot of major headlines out of Washington this morning. A showdown is now underway over the Republican senator's health care bill. Democrats say it will take coverage away from millions of Americans. And at least 9 Republican senators, both moderates and conservatives, say they either can't vote for the bill or have serious concerns. And President Trump has finally settled a major mystery, saying he did not record his conversations with fired FBI Director James Comey after sparking a flurry of speculation with that tweet. For weeks, the White House has refused to confirm or deny whether those tapes existed. We're going to have more on that in just a moment, but first, let's get to our congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, for the latest on the health care showdown this morning. Good morning, Mary.
David, good morning. Well, the Senate bill has finally been unveiled, but for now, it's not going anywhere. Republicans are facing opposition from within their own party. If they still want to get this done next week, this morning, they're headed for renegotiations.
Save our liberty!
This morning, the health care fight is on. From the halls of Congress
Healthcare is a human right.
to the D.C. airport, where protesters gave senators a send-off and a mouthful. The new Senate Republican bill is even facing opposition from within.
I just didn't run on Obamacare Light. I didn't run on replacing it with more government programs.
Republicans can afford to lose just 2 votes, but already 4 conservatives are not on board. They say the bill doesn't do enough to repeal Obamacare, and moderate Republicans are concerned too. Some worry the bill repeals too much.
Obviously, it's a process where it deserves consideration and debate and not knee-jerk reaction.
The bill ends the central Obamacare requirement that everyone has to have health insurance, offers tax credits to help Americans buy coverage, but scraps subsidies to lower costs, rolls back the Obamacare expansion of Medicaid, but leaves in place protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Senators will spend the weekend reviewing the bill, but the big question remains, can they get the votes to push it over the finish line?
There are 52 of us. All of us have leverage, and the question for us is, are we going to deliver or not? This is an opening offer, not the final deal, so time will tell.
The White House says the president wants a bill with heart. So does this version do the trick?
Have enough heart, Mr. President?
Little negotiation, but it's going to be very good.
So now it's time to negotiate. Sources tell me Republican leaders always knew that tweaks would have to be made, but even the president admits it is going to be difficult to get these votes. He says there is a very, very narrow path to get this done. Robin.
All right, Mary, thank you very much. For more on what this Senate health care bill could mean for you, our chief national correspondent, Tom Yalmas, you're here. You got 2 scenarios for us?
That's right. Good morning, Robin. We spoke with experts at the American Hospital Association, which is nonpartisan. They crunched the numbers for us, so let's take a look. First, let's start with somebody who would benefit from the Senate plan. First, he's 27 years old. He's a single male. He's self-employed, and he earns $200,000 a year. Here's why he wins out. First of all, he's younger, so he could pay a fifth of what older people pay for health insurance. Second, he lives in Chicago. It's an urban area. There's more people, just like Obamacare. They pay less for insurance. And finally, he's going to get a tax benefit as well. His Medicare tax benefit and his payroll taxes will be lower.
So definitely somebody who would benefit.
Right.
The flip side now.
Flip side now, here's the person who will not benefit. A 61-year-old woman. She's retired. She's living off $28,000 a year, and she lives in a rural area in Iowa, Clay County. So first off, like we mentioned, she could pay a fifth more of what younger customers pay for insurance. That's number one. Second, she lives in Clay County, Iowa. Healthcare is much more expensive in rural areas. Fewer doctors, fewer hospitals, fewer people.
That's similar in the Affordable Care Act.
Of course, just like that, exactly. And then finally, also, she's going to have higher out-of-pocket spending. The deductibles are higher, and then she gets a smaller tax credit as well.
So, Tom, what about people who do not have insurance? Under the Affordable Care Act, they are penalized. What about this bill?
And you remember that was a big flashpoint when Obama came out. So there's no employer mandate, no individual mandate, so you will not be penalized if you don't have health insurance. The flip side, of course, means with less people purchasing insurance, that increases costs for those who stay in.
Still a long way to go.
Yep.
All right. David?
All right, thanks for the breakdown there. President Trump, meanwhile, making news this morning, what he's now saying about the special counsel Robert Mueller, who, of course, is leading the Russia investigation, and then whether there was any obstruction of justice. Of course, Mueller was appointed after James Comey was fired at the FBI. So let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Carlin. John, you saw this overnight. The president telling Fox News he is bothered by the special counsel Robert Mueller's relationship with Comey. And here's what the president said when asked if Mueller should recuse himself.
Well, he's very, very good friends with Comey, which is very bothersome, but he's also We're going to have to see. There has been no obstruction. There has been no collusion. There has been leaking by Comey. But there's been no collusion, no obstruction, and virtually everybody agrees to that. So we'll have to see. I can say that the people that have been hired are all Hillary Clinton supporters.
So, John, if the president is concerned about this friendship, as he calls it, is he trying to put Mueller on notice here?
It sure sounds that way, David, especially when you consider that his legal team has said that the president ultimately has the right to fire Mueller, that everybody in the executive branch serves at the pleasure of the president. That said, if the president were to attempt to fire Mueller, you would see an outcry from fellow Republicans. Top Republicans on Capitol Hill have made it clear that if the president were to do that, it would be a grave mistake.
In the meantime, John, on this issue of whether the president is recording conversations at the White House, we all remember, of course, the tweet from the president saying James Comey better hope there are no tapes. It took 41 days for an answer. The president tweeting this. He said, "I did not make and do not have any such recordings." But, John, you asked the White House, why the game here?
Yeah, I didn't get a direct answer on that yesterday, but I think we got a direct answer from the president just today. Also in that interview with Fox, the president basically said that he was doing this to try to force Comey to, in his words, tell the truth. And he believes that, he told Fox anyway, that he believes that Comey's story changed once the idea that there might be tapes out there was in the public realm. So the president makes it clear he was trying to influence Comey.
All right, that's his take. John Carl with us this morning from the White House. John, thank you. And also, we're following another headline. Actor Johnny Depp in hot water for joking about assassinating the president. This came in overnight. The Secret Service now saying they're aware of his comments. So let's get right to our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, with much more on this for us. Pierre, good morning.
David, good morning. Johnny Depp is likely to get a call or visit from the Secret Service, the latest entertainer who will find out that for law enforcement, some jokes have consequences.
Can we bring Trump here?
The beginning of a statement igniting controversy overnight.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Hollywood icon Johnny Depp at a movie screening in England, seeming to know his remarks would cause a stir.
It's going to be in the press. It'll be horrible. But I like that you're all a part of it. I want to clarify, I'm not an actor. I lie for a living. However, it's been a while. And maybe it's time.
According to the BBC, Depp, who in the past has impersonated the president in this Funny or Die video,
I want you to slather every square inch of Trump Tower in brass.
Continued on saying it's just a question. I'm not insinuating anything. But the backlash was swift. One person writing on Twitter, when was the last time an actor assassinated a president? GOP representatives targeted and shot days ago. Depp is not the first entertainer to come under fire for their recent political comments. Madonna taking heat for this speech just one day after the inauguration.
Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. But I know that this won't change anything.
And just 3 weeks ago, comedian Kathy Griffin apologizing after this video shoot went viral, showing her holding up the bloody decapitated head of President Trump.
I made a mistake and I was wrong.
The Secret Service is always concerned that such comments could be heard by the unstable, who might actually commit an act of violence. Robin?
All right, Pierre, thank you. Now to a major court decision in Mississippi saying businesses and government employees can deny services to LGBT couples because of religious objections. ABC's David Wright is here. Have the details for us. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Robin. The Fifth Circuit's decision means that Mississippi could soon begin enforcing the so-called religious objections law, which would allow people in that state to deny services to same-sex couples on religious grounds. But representatives of the LGBT community say they're not giving up. Even though the U.S. Supreme Court says same-sex couples have a constitutionally guaranteed right to get married, Mississippi's law says people who disagree have a right to refuse to serve them.
I'm afraid this is going to be yet another excuse to hate. My wedding's July 4th, and it throws that all into question.
This ruling, reminiscent of Indiana's controversial Religious Freedom Bill, which then Governor Mike Pence signed into law. That law allowed business owners to discriminate based on sexual orientation. The owners of this pizza place in Walkerton, Indiana, refused to cater a gay wedding.
I do not think it is targeting gays. Person. I don't think it's a discrimination.
Mississippi's law, House Bill 1523, passed at the State House after the Supreme Court issued its ruling on same-sex marriage, but was never allowed to take effect. Supporters of the measure say it protects the beliefs of people who insist marriage is between a man and a woman, and who believe a person's gender is determined at birth.
Simply all we're trying to do is say that people of faith have some protection from an overbearing government.
But opponents say the Mississippi law endorses bigotry, pure and simple. Well, opponents of the law have several other avenues of appeal open to them. They plan to appeal immediately. There's also hope that maybe the legislature could change the law. That's what happened in Indiana, exactly, where Governor Pence signed into law some changes designed to address the LGBT community's concerns.
I often say I love my home state. You know, I was just there this past weekend. There are a lot of good people, great people in the state of Mississippi where I went to high school. My family has lived there since 1969. My parents are buried in the National Cemetery in Biloxi because my father served in the military in 3 wars. The LGBT community is not looking for special treatment. They're not looking for special rights. It's about equal rights, civil rights, human rights. Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and you have a lot of love for your home state.
I do. But this is something that perhaps, like they did in Indiana, they can take a look at. But this wasn't voted on by the people. This was a House bill that was signed by the governor.
And we'll be watching it.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to turn now to Bill Cosby. Back in the headlines this morning. His spokesperson now saying Cosby plans to hold a series of town hall meetings to educate people about sexual assault. As a juror in his trial now speaks out. ABC's Lindsay Davis has the new details for us. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, David. The jurors that we have heard from describe a grueling process in a tiny room. And now the Cosby camp is suggesting that the duration and location of deliberations may have actually worked against the comedian.
This morning, one of the jurors in Bill Cosby's sexual assault trial is speaking out, saying there's no need for a second trial.
It would be a waste of money because the man has already suffered the loss of his career and earnings over the past 11 years. It's done, it's settled.
Thank you.
The juror spoke to ABC's Pittsburgh affiliate, WTAE, on the condition of anonymity. He wouldn't say how he voted during deliberations, but did say he questioned how the trial was affecting the 79-year-old's health.
I wondered if he was going to be able to finish because he looked really weathered.
The juror also seemed to question the woman at the center of the case, Andrea Constant, who testified during the 6-day trial that Cosby gave her a drug that rendered her incapable of stopping his alleged assault, describing her as well coached.
I don't doubt what she said happened, but she asked for an apology, and he gave her 2 apologies, and she refused any other aid that he offered.
According to Cosby's rep, the comedian is now planning a series of town halls across the country to educate young people on how to avoid sexual assault charges. Robin.
All right, Lindsay, thank you. Let's go back to Ginger now. Wildfires and record heat out west.
Yes, 17,000-acre wildfire in southern Utah has now tripled in size in the last 24 hours. The heat's not helping. Excessive heat watch from Portland to alerts in Dallas. Let's get to the weekend getaway now, brought to you by CarMax.
When you buy a used car, you should feel confident. That's why CarMax has over 40,000 cars to choose from nationwide, with prices clearly marked, the same online as they are in the stores. That should give you some car buying confidence, the type of confidence you need to wear white after Labor Day, the type of confidence to suddenly switch to an English accent for no reason whatsoever. Yep, at CarMax, it's all about confidence. Nothing but net. Nailed it. Or should I say, nailed it, governor.
Keep the umbrella handy today, but it is going to be hot and humid. Some morning rain that'll wrap up about 9-10 a.m. and then the possibility of a few afternoon thunderstorms. Today's high 90. This weekend much cooler and feeling much better too. There's your change Saturday to Sunday as the rain ends about 9 a.m. in the morning. So low humidity will come our way. Take a look at next week too. Much cooler until the end of the week. 4th of July weekend. Back to the hot and humid and the possibility of some showers and storms on Sunday.